Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Pamela and today we are going to be talking all about how to stop playing small and how to step into your full potential. And I thought about this topic after hearing a quote the other day from another podcast that I was listening to while I was on my walk, and it mentioned how if you always take the shortcut in life, you are going to get cut short. And this just reminded me that so many people want this shortcut in life. They want the secrets to success and they want it fast, but in reality, we have to be looking at the bigger picture. Why do you want shortcuts to success? Why do you keep playing small with yourself? So many of us are living these watered down versions of who we really are, not because we aren't capable of what it is that we want to do and who it is that we want to be, but because we are afraid to take up space. We're afraid to be seen, and we are afraid to fully own the greatness it is that we have that is within us. And this leads us to playing small and thinking that we don't deserve to be in those big rooms it is that we dream of being in. And so in today's video, we're going to be diving into what it really means to stop playing small, to finally step into your true potential, because the truth is that you weren't meant to blend in, you were meant to lead, you were meant to shine in this world and live a life that reflects that has the purpose and the passion it is that lives within you and inside of you. So if you feel like you've been holding yourself back or you're always playing it safe, then this is the video for you. So let's get started. I'm also filming this video in the middle of the morning. It is very early and the sun is shining really bright behind me, so I apologize for that. But tip number one is stop waiting for permission. A lot of us, including myself, sometimes feel like we have to wait for certain things to be right in life before we can take a really big step or some sort of really big leap, when we really just need to stop waiting for permission and to just go after what it is that we want. Because the truth is, you don't need anyone's validation to go after what is already meant for you. And I struggled with this a lot growing up because I'm the oldest daughter of two Hispanic parents, and growing up they were really strict, so they always instilled this thing in me that I have to do things by the book, I have to follow what everybody else is doing, and I cannot break the rules. I have to ask for permission before doing anything. And it gave me this really bad habit as I've gotten older of always wanting validation or needing it from others before I can do anything. But it wasn't until I finally decided I want to break out of this bad habit, I want things to really change, and I thought, how is the rest of my life going to look if I keep thinking of what others want me to do and what others want me to be? And this is the problem, is that most people stay stuck in that zone. They wait to feel ready. They wait for the perfect moment, but readiness is always going to come after the first step, not before. And I always mention this in my other videos as well, which is that you have to stop waiting for this right moment, for the right time to finally feel ready for what it is that you want to do, because it is not going to come. It's not going to happen because you're still waiting for things to line up. There's never going to be that perfect time or the perfect day. I'm going to start tomorrow. I'm going to start Monday. I'm going to start next week. And with this means that you have to take messy action. The clarity and all of the things you want are going to happen as you begin to take action. And clarity is going to come from experience. If you don't have experience, if you don't have anything under your belt, if you're not going out there and doing anything, how are you going to possibly learn? How are you going to possibly meet new people? How are you going to get connections? How are you going to grow as a person and as an entrepreneur or a business owner or a content creator or whatever it is that you want to do? You have to actually go out there and take that messy action and learn from what it is that you are doing. And so many people that you look up to or that you follow or that you want to be, they all seem like they have their life together online, but let me tell you guys, nobody has their life together. We are all still figuring things out. Even older people that have all of this success, that have all of these things, everybody is still figuring it out day by day. We're all learning, we're all trying new things, we're all trying to pursue and build our own dreams and our own passions. So just stop waiting for permission to go out there in the world and do something, because you deserve to make your name known. Number two is get clear on your vision. You cannot step into your full potential. You cannot step into whatever it is that you want to do if you do not even have a vision of what it is that you want. And a lot of us feel like we have to have this certain vision or this dream because of the influence of others. So for example, what is your dream without the influence of social media? What are your goals without other people telling you this is what you should do or this is what you should be? Because the other problem is that a lot of us want to accomplish certain milestones or achieve certain things because we think it's going to make us look cool. We think it's going to give us this advantage. It's going to make us look like we have our life together. But really, you have to ask yourself, what is your dream? What is your vision for your your life and for yourself without the influence of others? Is your dream car really your dream car? Or is it because your favorite influencer has it? Is your dream business the one that you want to build? Is that actually your dream business? Or is it because you think that that's a get rich quick scheme? Like, you really have to evaluate what is it that you want out of this life, because it is your life and you should not be doing things or want to do things because of the influence of others. You got to get super clear on what it is that you want. And I've been doing this for so many years, but if you are having a little bit of trouble trying to figure that out for yourself, I really recommend doing this through different ways, like journaling, just really writing down things on what does your dream life look like? What is your dream career? What does your business look like when it's really successful? And write this out in full detail, or think about it in full detail. You can take a Google document and open up your notes app. You can take a journal out. You can literally just get a blank piece of paper and write out all the things it is that you want to do, everything you want out of this life, and be very specific. And like I said before, I have done this so many times, countlessly, and it is really, really great, because when those things start to come into fruition, you can really see like, wow, I've been wanting this for so many years. Wow, I've dreamed of this since I was this age. Or look at how things have slowly started to happen over the years. And I've done this in full detail with my business, with my career, with my social media, like everything that I want and how I want my future life to look like. I have done that because I really need to get super crystal clear on what it is that I want to accomplish. And when you have that clarity, that is going to bring the confidence, and the confidence is going to silence all of the self-doubt it is that you have, all of the negativity, all of the things that you think that you cannot do. The moment that you start stepping into what it is that you want to do, when you actually take action on your dream, all of that self-doubt is going to go away, because you're going to see, wow, I'm slowly chipping away at that really big, scary, intimidating thought of, am I going to make it? Am I going to be able to do this? And that work that you are doing every single day, it's going to start to add up, and it's going to build those results over time. And the thing with the work it is that you are doing is that it is going to take years. It is not going to be an overnight success, and that's why I put such an emphasis on just start now, because the later and later it is that you wait, the later it is that you are delaying possible opportunities from happening to you. So when you are playing small, it's going to feel really safe. You're going to feel like, okay, I'm doing the right thing, but in reality, that is what is going to keep you stuck, and it is going to keep you in the same space that you've been in. It's going to keep you in the same environment. And when you do this, when you actually take action, you are going to realize, I have to get uncomfortable because I have to grow. And discomfort is that sign, it's that signal that you're growing, you're learning, you're expanding. And if you're doing things out of your comfort zone, then you're learning something new, you're testing yourself, you're entering these new waters, and you truly never know what can come from that. Like, some of the best things that have happened to me have truly come out of me taking a really big risk or a really big leap. As a content creator, I get invited to really cool events and things that are always happening in New York, and sometimes I can't bring a +1. Sometimes I can't bring someone to come with me, and I just have to muster up the courage and that small fear that's inside of me, and I just have to go alone. And the reason why I have this fear of going alone is because I don't want other people to think that I'm a loner at the event, that I have no one to talk to. But I push past that and I show up, and I end up meeting really, really amazing people, and I get connected with people that even follow me at these events and that love my content. So it's truly about reframing that fear and that discomfort as a sign that you are growing. You are going to be learning from this, and fear should not be a stop sign. It should be a green light that you are really stretching your capacity. Tip number 3 is recognize how you've been holding yourself back. Sometimes we may not realize that we are the reason why we are holding ourselves back. We are the reason why we're not going after our dreams in life. And the truth is, self-sabotage, fear of failure, limiting beliefs, like all of these things, they're all under the same umbrella of how we hold ourselves back, because this fear of failure that we have is made up. It's not real. It's in our head. We make ourselves believe that we cannot do something. And then that ends up leading us to spiral down and have all of these different thoughts. And trust me, I've been there. I've done that so many times that I can't even count. And there's so many subconscious ways that we shrink ourselves, like not speaking up for ourselves, doubting our abilities, even the media that we consume. If we are constantly comparing ourselves to others, looking at what other people are doing, wishing that we had others' lives and more, that is going to contribute to how we hold ourselves back. we have to let go of this narrative that our lives have to be put together 24/7, or that we have to look a certain way or be a certain way all of this time, or that by age 30, you got to have the house, you got to have the kids, you got to have the dog, you got to have the white picket fence. Like, we really need to reframe our mindset. We don't have to be that way. We can do our own things. We can be on our own timeline, and your environment, that is what matters the most. Energy is contagious. Look at who it is that you are around, what it is that you consume, what you intake, information that you read, and more. And the reason why you have to be aware of that is because that is what is going to affect whether you will go after your goals or not. It is true that you are the average of who it is that you hang around. If you're around the naysayers, the negative people, and the ones who are always saying something about your big goals or your big dreams, it's time to let them go, because they are not going to get you anywhere, and that is going to stop you from getting anywhere. You can even slowly distance yourself from those kinds of people and keep doing you, keep doing what it is that you want to do. I've been doing that over the last few years. I've started cutting people off slowly, or distancing myself from those that I don't want to be around anymore, because I have this goal for myself. I am young. I'm 22 years old, graduated college last year, and I'm doing the dang thing. Like, I'm living my dream life. I'm doing all the things it is that I want, and I'm still getting to where it is that I want to be. Like, slowly every single day, I'm continuing to be on the path it is that I want. I look at my life a year ago, or compared to even 2 years ago, and I'm so proud of myself, but it's because I've had to make a lot of different sacrifices. I've had to take really big risks. So instead, learn to be around people who dream big, that want to take risks, that want to do something, that operate at a higher frequency than others. Limit your time around people who shrink your thinking, or they discourage your boldness. They think that you cannot do whatever it is that you want to do. Instead, be around those big thinkers, be around those big dreamers. Those are the people that are going to bring you up. And I cannot tell you guys, I've been around so many people in my life that are negative. They drain your energy. They always use you to pick themselves back up, and then the next day they go back exactly to how they were. And that is something that I no longer want to be a part of. I no longer want to be around that energy. And I've learned also, I don't have to take on every single hangout that I get invited to or that I get told to go to, because people's energy, how they are, what they do, and what they say can really, really affect you. And that can be a big reason as to why you're playing small. So recognize certain things that may be holding you back, and how you can start building yourself back up and letting go of those things and pushing away the outside noise. Number 4 is start thinking bigger and taking bolder actions. So without thinking big, without taking big steps, and without taking action in general, you are never going to see the progress it is that you want. And you have to think big, but then think 10 times bigger than that. And I heard this quote before, which is that where people think they are versus where they think they can be is so much closer than they think. And this was from another entrepreneur named Noah Kagan, but this really stood out to me because it's true. So many of us think that this person it is that we want to be, or this dream life it is that we want, we think that it is so far away, but the truth is that it is really so close to us, and the gap is so small, but we're just not putting in the work. We care too much about what people think. We don't have the specific vision or the specific plan for ourselves. We sometimes are not thinking big enough, or we're not taking enough risks. And it reminds me of when I quit my first corporate job post-grad, and then I went into content creation full-time in September 2024, and it was just 2 months later, in November, after I quit my job and quit all of these things and went into social media, that I ended up landing one of the biggest campaigns of my entire career. And it was literally after I made the biggest change to my life that all of these really great things started happening. And of course, I was afraid to go into social media and pursue it full time because I had all of these fears, I had all of these doubts. But the thing is that on the other side of fear is your greatest life. And I remembered those words constantly, and I held it really, really close to me. So continue expanding on your vision, set goals that scare you, and take the really big risk, because that is where really, really amazing things can happen. So do those things that are out of your comfort zone. Do those things that are a little bit scary, and develop this mindset of why not me? Develop this mindset of things can happen to you and things will happen to you. And another one of my favorite entrepreneurs, her name is Tara Bosch. She's the founder of Smart Sweets, which was acquired for $360 million a few years back. And she mentioned in a YouTube style interview that I was listening to how you have to normalize things that you want because it can happen to you. And she specifically mentions this with examples with her company, with the revenue numbers that they were hitting. So she hit $10,000, then she hit $100,000, then $500,000, then $1 million, then $10 million. And it's like she mentions that she continued to normalize these numbers and these really big milestones for herself. She got comfortable and she got familiar with the fact that I can hit this number. Now I can hit this new number. Now I can do this and I can do that. But the thing is that you have to continue to normalize this thing for yourself until it becomes real. And then once it's real, you keep going to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, and then you keep moving up. And that's what I told myself with my social media journey. I always thought that it wouldn't be possible for me to make money from social media, or that I wouldn't be able to make this a career. But once I actually had something come into fruition and I made my first $20 off of a brand deal, it really became even more real to me. Like, wait, I can actually make money from this. I can actually make this happen. And that's exactly what I did. I normalized it for myself and I was like, I can do this. I can make more money now and more money now and more money now. And it wasn't until last year that I started making more that I realized, wow, like I actually can do this. But it's literally what Tara said, normalizing things for yourself and knowing that it can happen, make it real, then do the next thing, and continue to move up. Tip number 5 is build the confidence to own your greatness. Confidence, self-belief, self-worth, all of these things really go hand in hand, and we have to show up for ourselves. We need to be our biggest cheerleader because that is how greatness is achieved. And another quote that I heard from Reese Witherspoon, which I always remember as well, is that she says, I will put in the hours and I bet on myself. I am my own lottery ticket. And I always think that if no one else shows up, I know I will and I will do the work. And I love this metaphor because it is literally saying you are going to be your own lottery ticket. You are going to bet on yourself and you are going to show up for yourself regardless of whether others do it or not. You have your own life. You have your own things to do. You need to be the one that's going to go out there and achieve your dreams and do all the things it is that you want. But it literally starts with you and the belief that is inside your heart and your mind. So the next time you're about to do something, remember, like, I am betting on myself. I am my own lottery ticket and I'm going to see what can happen. And you can do this by practicing different steps to unlock this really unshakable self-belief. You have to develop this, and it really needs to start young, because the older it is that you get and the more things happen, the more responsibilities that start coming into your life, you're going to start to put all of your passion projects and side hustles and things on the back burner. But you really need to start now, whether it is by only consuming positive, uplifting content, whether it's reading motivational, inspirational books or stories, or even unfollowing and removing certain things or certain people from your feed. You need to focus on you. You need to train yourself and have this mindset of what can happen. What can I do to get myself to this dream life? But it really, really, really starts with confidence. It starts with knowing in your heart and soul that things can happen to you. Your dreams will happen, but you also have to put in the work. You have to put in the action to get to where it is that you want to be. Work on these daily habits. Train your brain that you can expect success. Normalize the things it is that you want and cut out that outside noise. You have to be laser focused on you. And it really is just a combination of the other tips I mentioned, which is that you need to look at your environment, look at the information and the things it is that you're intaking, and just have this laser focus on what it is that you want to accomplish. Because at the end of the day, when your head hits that pillow, when you wake up in the morning, it is you and only you, and you can do whatever it is that you want. But you have to start by just taking action, put one foot in front of the other, and just get to work. The last and final tip for today's video is number 6, which is build a delusional mindset, but in a good way. So being delusional sometimes gets a bad rep because a lot of people think that it means you live in this fantasy world, you think all of these crazy good things are going to happen to you, but in reality, being delusional in a good way can actually bring really exceptional things to your life, and it can even lead you to look at things in a different light. So I like to think of it similarly with how people say you look at a glass half full or you look at a glass half empty. It's the same thing with being delusional. You can look at your life with the way that it is, where maybe nothing's going on, you're missing all of these things, you wish that you had more, and you're constantly looking at your life with what you wish that you had, versus looking at your life from the point of view of you have all of these things that are going for you. Even more good things can come, and what can you do with what you currently have? And this is what I used to do when I was first starting out my journey as a content creator. I couldn't afford a tripod, I couldn't afford lighting, I didn't want to ask my mom to use her credit card because she literally was going to just laugh at me and say, girl, why do you want to buy this thing off Amazon? So I literally used what I had, and I stacked shoe boxes against the wall in my room until it was high enough to be a tripod, and I would put my phone up there and I would film an outfit of the day video. And obviously the videos weren't good, but the truth is that I literally had to work with what I had, and I was like, I'm not gonna let this get me down. I'm just gonna work with what is currently around me. And I also love the tip of being so confident in your future that it literally looks delusional to others, because people only know what you choose to say and what you choose to share. So be so confident in yourself and your path and your abilities that to everybody else, they're like, this girl doesn't know what she's talking about. Or they start to have all of these doubts against you, because when you come out on top, those are the same people that are going to ask you, how did you do it? How did you get to where you are today? And they're going to be like, I know this girl years and years down the road. And I'm literally speaking from experience, because I found out years later that friends or people that I knew were saying stuff behind my back, or that they were saying anyone can do what it is that I'm doing. It is easy for anyone to do all the things it is that I'm trying to do. And now they're the same ones who are not in my life anymore, but are trying to do the same thing. And it's funny because people want to see you do good, but they don't want to see you do better than them. And now they're in the same position that I was years ago, where I was just starting out and I was being made fun of, and now they're seeing, okay, this is working, I want to try it out too. So it's just crazy, like the switch up, but it literally is so true that people are going to say something, but they don't want you to do better than them. They want to secretly be a hater. They want to secretly be in the sidelines, and it's going to happen. It's unfortunate, but it is true. And the truth with that is that people are afraid because you are doing something and they're not. So you have to continue truly to show up for yourself, believe in your potential, even before the results show up. And I will tell you, that is the hardest part of being an entrepreneur or a creative or a freelancer, is that you have to keep working on your business and your passion projects, even when nothing is happening on the forefront, even when you don't see things going on, because success comes from a level of self-belief that most people do not understand. And I heard this other quote from a YouTube video, which said, day by day, nothing changes, but when you look back, everything's different. And I love this because it is so true that we don't see the big changes in the day-to-day, but when you look back years later or even months later, so much has changed and you may not have even realized it. So give yourself grace. Know that just because things aren't happening or things aren't showing up, or just because you're not seeing that physical growth and that success isn't really happening in the way you want, does not mean that your name is not being spoken about in rooms that you're not in and that opportunities are not happening on the other side. That is all for today's video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed. And again, I'm so sorry about the crazy lighting. I'm filming this in the morning and it is just blasting light into my office, but I really hope that you guys enjoyed. Let me know what was your favorite tip, or if you guys have any specific videos it is that you want to see, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!